Alright, ladies and gentlemen, after much delay and one false start, we're going to start Game 3 here. That was my bad. I thought I had forgotten to change the score at the top, and it looks like I did. So I freaked out for no reason, texted both our players, and told them to quit. And I got a text message back from Steven, who wrote back, "Seriously?" And I said, "No, just messing with you. You just forfeited the series." No, I'm just kidding with you guys, but this is Game 3. It's going to be on, oh god, I forgot what this map is. Lost Temple?
Shattered Temple.
Shattered Temple, yeah, I forgot. Lost Temple is that Nickelodeon series from the 80s. That was awesome.
Much better than the Shattered Temple. I say we bring it back.
Yeah, I think up here, our pink, what was it, Pink Monkey, right? And green Tiger or something like that, so... We have Pink Monkey. We'll go with it. Pink Monkey and Green Tiger. And casting with me, I don't want to forget to introduce you. Casting with me is the ever omnipotent Duck.
That is me. And it looks like we're kind of having like a standard opening here for both of them. The first game, we saw early aggression from both of them, and the second one, early expansions from both of them. So I'm interested to see what they got up their sleeves for this round.
Yeah, I'm loving it. As McDonald's says, you know, I'm shopping on the dollar menu tonight, folks. So, oh, and this is big. Well, not big. You know, it's the beginning of the game, but it's important. We got
huge.
Yeah. Nick now knows that they are just a skip and a toss away over this little pond here, and it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to it.
Yeah, I think one thing that Green Tiger might go for is some maybe early air pressure.
Green Tiger, indeed. It might go for a little air pressure.
Pink Monkey here is just really messing around, just
yeah,
going all around the map.
He's
kind of he hasn't found it yet.
He's kind of monkeying about, you know.
Oh, take a look at the center. It looks like we got some probe action.
A little probe on probe porn. This is big.
Oh.
And Green Monkey is just humping the crap out of Pink Salmon. Green Tiger.
Like
I'm sorry.
Strayed away from the names a little bit here. We're going with basically any animal you want.
Yeah, basically. So Yellow Ocelot. How do you feel the game's going so far?
It's going pretty well. It looks like we got a forge coming up here for Nick, so I'm guessing he's going to put down some cannons.
And this is... Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but this is interesting, because this is the kind of play I was expecting more from Steven all along. Nearly a complete wall-off here, and it's a pretty good wall-off. And a little trash talk here from CrAzian, quoting one of my favorite movies, Runaway Bride. Sorry. Princess Bride. Just kidding. Don't want anyone to send me hate messages when I post this on YouTube. So...
So hopefully Nick plans to follow this up with a really high economy kind of build. It looks like he's going for more defense, where Steven's going for more of the offense, and we'll have to see which one prevails.
Yeah, it's interesting because it almost looks like Cervantes is going for fast forge expand, but he's not doing the expand part, you know?
Yeah, and I actually played him on this map earlier, and he kind of did a similar build where he set these cannons up at the high ground here, and then followed it up with an expansion below, and I think that's something I'd like to see out of him this game.
You know, and it's really not a bad tactic, you know, to have... to have your cannon up on the high ground. It has a fairly decent range. I mean, it can hit pretty much anything right here, so as long as he has an engagement near his expansion, if he decides to go with that, he'll have some support as long as Steven doesn't get vision on the ledge. So,
yeah, and one thing to note, Steven's actually got 2 gases going now, whereas Nick only has 1. And I guess that's more because of the cannon play. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess. But here's the other thing: Steven only has 15 probes, and he's using. I mean, both. Well, no, not both the simulators are fully saturated. It's 2 and 2. But still, I mean, if you're sitting at 15 probes and you have 4 probes on the assimilators, that's 4 probes that aren't doing mining minerals, and that's what he needs right now more than anything. I don't know what he needs all this gas for. He's sitting at 220 gas, 230 almost now. So,
well, it looks like he's actually going to bring in a warp prism here, and this could be some very interesting play because Nick doesn't have I spoke too soon. He's putting up cannons on the side now, and hopefully that's enough to ward away the warp prism.
yeah, and I really like warp prism play. Like I said in the last game, I wish more players did it. Obviously, we're a bunch of noobs, so maybe warp prisms aren't the best idea. But for some reason, I really dig it, and I'm excited to see what CrAzian's gonna do here. But you're right, the cannon on this northwestern ledge, is really going to help defend against a warp prism and kind of just be observant. Duck, one of my favorite plays actually is a High Templar drop right in the middle of a mineral line.
Yeah, I think it's something like 2 storms and all the probes disappear.
Oh my god, it's so brutal. I mean, Storm does, I think, like 75 damage over 2 seconds or something obscene like that, and this is good. This is good for Cervantes right here. He scouts the warp prism, knows what's coming, and now, his fate's in his own hand at this point. Like, he knows what's coming.
I'm actually a little bit surprised he's not moving some of those stalkers back onto that far western edge of his base.
Yeah.
He's got no pressure up front. He's got a cannon. He can easily hold it there with that sentry. He should really move those over.
And did he lose his observer when Steven's observer came out? I think so.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of miss micro there.
Yeah, well, it happens to the best of us, but only thing I have to say about this is that Cervantes, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, he has no vision there, and if the warp prism lands right there and just drops units out, I mean, he could be in some trouble.
Yeah, the thing is, CrAzian really isn't doing anything with that warp prism.
Yeah.
He really needs to utilize the units he's producing, or he should put it more into economy.
He might be a little spooked, too. He saw the observer scout him. He knows that it's kind of a busted plan now. And it looks like he's just going to switch to Colossi, and he's going pretty aggressively. And off of one base, I mean, if Cervantes can hold on, CrAzian's going to be pretty far behind.
I'm surprised neither one of them... Oh, never mind. Speak of the devil, one of them puts up their natural, finally. And it's actually the one who's moving out, maybe looking into putting some pressure on.
I thought you were going to say neither one of them have put up a proxy yet, because if you look right above Steven's natural, he has a proxy pylon, and he can actually warp units onto this ledge on the other side of this little gap. So...
To be honest, I'm not quite sure what CrAzian's doing here. Maybe it's just a scout.
Yeah, I think he's probably just scouting for the expansion. And, Cervantes should really engage and just take out these units. And, they scouted. They're vulnerable. Do it, man. Go for it.
Yeah, he's definitely got to figure out some way to punish CrAzian here for expanding. You can't just sit back.
And I love this play. Cervantes throws down a dark shrine right next to his proxy pylon. So he's gonna... I don't know if... maybe it's just more ballsy and swagger than anything else, but I kind of love it, He sees... Yeah. He saw with his probe that CrAzian had no detection unit except for that observer, and,
Yeah, he's got no forge out there. All he really has is that one Colossus. To be honest, he really needs a ground force to back that up. And
yeah.
The three stalkers he got out there are probably about to be taken out.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Cervantes is going to come in here and take out this small little army. And I'm getting a little bit of lag here. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's got to be one of them.
Okay, I was going to say, it was the Brotos.
One of our spectators is bringing down the game. So
yeah. Bringing down the house here to interrupt this exciting battle. And, I really, really dig this play. I really think that some DTs are going to get in here and just wreck shop, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't scouted it yet.
Nick
really has a huge force here, and he should really move out with this. I mean, he just killed a small force. He should at least scout. Maybe
Yeah,
send it in.
I mean, he hasn't even scouted his Steven's expansion yet, so he doesn't know it's sitting there, and he's got to get these DTs out, hopefully sometime soon, and just kind of be surprised. And I just wish he'd see this and see how little units CrAzian has. I mean, I'm not cheering for either one of them, but, you know, I'd really just like to see some good play, you know? Some GG.
Yeah. You know, for one thing here, CrAzian is actually on 2 base, but if you look at his probe count, it's very similar to Cervantes.
Yeah.
So maybe over a long term, this would actually benefit him, but right now, a greater economy is not something he has.
Yeah, and again, it's like he's running before he walks. You know, he has his second base down, but he doesn't have any more probes in production. And, you know, I think it's good in theory that he has 2 bases up, but it's not good that, you know, he hasn't actually capitalized on a 2-base benefit, you know?
Yeah.
But CrAzian is going to come out with this huge army, and this observer is going to spot it in time. I'm not actually sure, though, if Nick has enough. Oh, and CrAzian is going pretty smart here. A little bit of a time. Well, I thought he was going to try for a 2-pronged attack. He is going to come from behind here and try and take out these colossi.
Oh, and Nick
blinks down.
That is actually huge.
That's an excellent play, except for he does have to watch out that he doesn't engage too much here. He's got to... Oh, what a pro play. Pro play right there. And I feel like Nick just really is feeling good right now, you know?
Yeah, and he's got DTs warping in at that proxy pylon, his ballsy backhand slap.
Oh, this is going to be big.
They're going to be moving in.
This is good. And you know what? Steven still... Yeah, well, Steven does have an observer in the base, so, you know, as long as the DTs stay south... Oh, he slices the probe right away. And, you know, Steven, it might not be a long attack, but that killing that pylon, supply box Steven, the observers running around trying to find the DTs, and these DTs are just going to get in the middle of Steven's middle line. He pulls the probe, good move there. And what's he got to do? He has precious little time left.
Looks like he's just going to try to supply block him more, and to be honest, that is hurting him. Nick's capitalizing on this lead right now.
Oh, he should have sniped the pylon. He could have depowered everything over here. Oh, no, Nick. Great.
That would have been huge.
You know, and it was still a good play. I mean, he supply blocked Steven pretty well. Got a couple kills. But, you know, I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah, one thing to note, if Nick doesn't expand here soon, he's actually going to kill himself. His minerals are very low at his natural, and he's just not going to be able to keep this going.
And for those of you watching my screen, and I'm the one recording this video, yes, I did just have to look up the shortcut for units killed, because I wanted to see how many probes Cervantes just killed. And it was only 4 kills, and no units killed. So it's just interesting to see... I don't think those DTs were really worth it from a money standpoint, but I do think from a psychological standpoint, CrAzian's a little freaked out right now.
And you can tell he had his army positioned there in the center of the map. And once those DTs stuck, you can see that his whole army is kind of hanging back more. This really gives Cervantes a chance to, you know, open up, expand, and it looks like he might be doing that with the probe on the far east.
I was going to say, speaking of expansions... Right here. Oh, and this is going to be exciting. Cervantes is going for some Phoenix play. And I'm wondering if he's going to just try and pick up probes and knock them down. I mean, Steven didn't drop any photon cannons in the base, so there's still no real anti-air. He'll have to run his whole army back into his own base. And, you know, it's looking pretty good for Cervantes right now.
Yeah, I think Cervantes at the moment is definitely in a lead, but something that CrAzian could do to really come back in this would be to snipe that proxy.
Yeah, and I don't. Does he see it? Yeah, he does see it, and I don't. It'll be a matter of time until because I think he's gonna grab his gold expand right here.
And to be honest, that spot actually is good for Nick. He's gonna see that CrAzian is taking down the rocks at the gold. this is something that he's probably going to expand to, and hopefully he'll move out with his force here and put a little pressure on.
Oh my god, I can't believe CrAzian isn't sniping this Dark Shrine. Come on!
I guess the green just blends in too well with the mini-map.
Green Tiger is crouching, and he's about to unleash his hidden dragon.
Well, you have to be careful because Pink Monkey is moving off his main and moving to the center. It looks like we're going to see an army engagement here.
He does have his observer right here, and I don't know if he wants to engage really, or, you know, he doesn't have any upgrades. I don't know if this is the best engagement.
Here we got the Phoenix that's coming up the backside and sniping out those Colossus.
Okay.
And that's huge.
Good army trade. I mean, he does have to really get some timing going on because, you know... okay, actually, I didn't see this while the attack was going on, but Cervantes did throw down a third Nexus. Now, the difference is CrAzian is on a gold expansion, so he will tech up a little bit, but you know what? Cervantes is going to come up here right now and snipe this Nexus, and I love this play.
See, I think this is a lot better. He's containing CrAzian to these two bases, which he knows he's been mining up for quite some time. And now it's kind of left into CrAzian's hand to whether he can push out or, you know, tech up and try to do something fancy.
The only thing I'm a little concerned about is that Cervantes is really strapped for cash right now, and you know, if this attack fails, he really doesn't have the economy to come back and back it up. He's rich in gas. Oh, and he's actually distance mining right now from his main to his natural, and I think the probes will start going to the expansion, but he's really strapped for cash. His mineral income is only 220 as opposed to CrAzian's almost 1100. So
yeah, I'm surprised CrAzian's is so high, and we're going to see a huge uptick right here in Cervantes because he just transferred all his probes over to that natural.
Yeah,
but he's just got to be wary of what CrAzian's got there.
Cervantes is a little bit trash talking here, talking about the Dark Shrine, but he didn't kill the Dark Shrine. He just killed the proxy.
I'm not sure what that was about.
Oh my god! And like CrAzian sees that.
Yeah, it's still on his map.
Yeah,
I just double checked, and I'm not sure. But we got a huge force of zealots coming out here.
What is Cervantes? What are you gonna do? He's attacking from two ways, and that's good. A little bit of a missed micro there. What is he doing with these stalkers?
I think that's actually a rally point, and he needs some micro against these zealots.
Yeah, he doesn't.
They're gonna take him down if he doesn't.
His immortals are really vulnerable against the zealots, and that's what he needed to defeat this huge stalker army, and just not microing very well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems Cervantes is having in these games, is his micro. He kind of loses some of his units at times.
And CrAzian has a +1 weapons, and he's working on +1 armor. So, I mean, he definitely has the attacking advantage. He has 2 more probes. His income's stronger. I mean, you know, Nick was doing so well here for a second, and all of a sudden things are kind of falling apart.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why that is, but we definitely see Steven warping in mass amounts of zealots now. He's just putting the pressure on and putting it on hard.
The one thing I do like is the fact that Nick does have these DTs over here, and Steven doesn't have his observer anywhere in sight. The only issue is he doesn't have any other army. So what's he going to do here?
I think what Nick needs to do is take these Phoenixes, which aren't going to be any good against this army, and start harassing, and maybe it'll bring back...
Yeah, he might just have a hard time trying to get all that... Oh, man, and he needs to pull his probe line. His probes are just getting wrecked here. Steven has 10 probe kills, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 probe kills. Wipes out Cervantes, all of his probes. His economy is now just shattered. He finally brings in the Phoenixes like you were talking about, but... this Nexus is going to go down, and this is a huge blow for Cervantes.
This is really what quite a bit of zealots can do against someone who can't micro them quite well enough.
Now, these are going to be contained here pretty well, but, you know, Cervantes really needs an answer, and he needs one now. I mean, he is going to get out macroed in a second. and he's building a Phoenix, but he really needs a traditional army right now just to hold another ground force. I mean,
looks like we got a warp coming in. Hopefully all these Phoenixes.
And here comes the warp prism finally coming in. And I don't think that Cervantes noticed. This little zealot's just going to come in here and finish off the job. Comes in, warps in 5 of his best friends, and they're just going to run in, get a little crazy with the cheese whiz. So,
and this is going to hurt Nick quite a bit.
It's not.
I think something that
good.
would be huge for Nick is Steven is definitely going a heavy zealot army here. He's got the Stargate up anyways. He should pump out some Void Rays, and that would really give him an advantage.
You know, and it was a really good Phoenix play there by Nick, saving his Nexus with his Phoenix. But, man, I just can't shake the fact that Nick only has 15 probes out on the field. I mean, 15 probes.
Yeah, CrAzian really set Nick's economy back into the Stone Age here.
Yeah, great attack by CrAzian. I don't want to undersell that fact at all.
No, I think the thing is, CrAzian can just keep producing these Zealots in mass quantities, and really Nick has no answer to them at this time.
Yeah, and CrAzian is still mining off of 2 bases. Nick did manage to snipe his Nexus, and that, great move. But, man, he just warped in 8 Zealot, or is that 8? I can't count. I didn't major in math. I'm so confused right now. 7 Stalkers? Actually, yeah, 7 Stalkers. And he has 3 Colossi sitting in his base. I just don't know what CrAzian's going to do, or what Nick's going to do when CrAzian comes and attacks.
To be honest, I was liking his composition a bit more before. Nick has these Phoenixes that really are made useless by having, a huge Zealot for us. When he's bringing in these Colossus, they're not going to do too much because the Phoenix are going to get in there and snipe them pretty fast.
And I mean, the army, well, I was going to say the armies aren't too different in sizes, but CrAzian just warped in another 7 Stalkers. Because I was going to say, if Cervantes worked on his microing skills a little bit, he might actually be able to defend off of 7 Stalkers and a couple Colossi with a couple Immortals thrown in, but I just can't help to shake that he's microing so bad, and it's just not going to be good for him next time there's an attack.
And one thing to note is neither of these players have really gotten their probe count quite at the point where it's needed to be.
Yeah.
They say per base it should be around 22. And right now we basically have both of them on a 2-base situation, and neither of them are over the 30 point.
And I'm just a little bummed because, it's not that Nick can't afford it. He's sitting on 750 minerals, and he has plenty food in his cap. And, I'd really just like him to build some more probes. I mean, he's breaking my macro heart here.
Yeah, I think it's just that, holy crap, that's a huge transfer of drones over to the gold base.
Wow.
We're just going to see the income just skyrocket here for Steven.
Yeah.
And if you can put down some more pylons, he's just going to be able to crush Nick's army.
Yeah, I mean, he can trade armies all day and just, let him have it.
And it looks like we got the force coming out here now.
I mean, Nick isn't building anything right now. I mean, I'm going to go to his vision and see what he's doing. He's moving his observer around. He's checking. I mean, he's building a couple more units from the warp gate, but he just needs to do something a little bit more dramatic than I feel like what he's doing now.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying, but he's getting a little lost. This is one of the longer games that I'm sure either one of them has played.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been a good game. I don't want to criticize any one person too much, because it has been a really good game, and it's been really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of back and forth, and I think the stress and just the amount of intensity of these matches is just starting to drain them.
Oh, and this is not going to be a good exchange for Nick right here. This might be game if Nick is not careful. He is going to come in with these Phoenixes, come in from behind, and, he might just be letting this Nexus die off again. I'm not sure how much I agree with that. He is about to snipe a Colossi from the back, and that could be huge. Especially because Nick does have, he did have the height advantage, but he just blinked his Stalkers down into the low ground.
I
So
think he did it to try to keep the Phoenixes alive there, because you could see they were definitely getting targeted.
and some good micro actually by Steven, moving that Colossi out until the Phoenixes were dealt with, and I think this might be GG for Nick.
Yeah, even if he does hold this off, if you take a look at the food count, we're basically at the point where Steven's food count is double Nick's.
Yeah.
So it looks like Pink Monkey found the golden key, and he's gonna win it here.
Yeah, and the Crouching Tiger is back on the endangered species list.
It is such a shame.
It is such a shame, and you know, maybe maybe Cervantes can win the way I like to win. You know, through trash talking and being unsportsmanlike. But that's a moral victory, and this is a league. I mean, we might be noobs, but this is a real league. So,
I think Nick's just kind of regrouping here and trying to get his composure.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually thinks he can come back from this.
yeah,
I mean, he hasn't scouted the gold base quite yet, so I mean, it's a possibility.
and what just happened over here at Steven's base, he brought in his 2 DTs that were kind of hiding up here, and Nick's going to call GG here. Maybe not GG, maybe just laugh at himself. There's the GG, and the second series is over. CrAzian takes a 2-1 lead, and a really good series overall, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely both sides had their match, and it looked like Steven just barely came out there in the top.
Yeah, great game to everyone, and thanks for tuning in for the second round of, well, the first round, but second series in the League of Inadequate Gamers. And we're going to go ahead and rage quit right now, so screw you guys.